Hi, my name is Catherine Gloston, and I'm going to be discussing the limitations of the modality principle. So, first off, what is the modality principle? Now, I know for majority of us, we already actually have become quite familiar with the modality principle, but I'd like to give a brief description of it in just some clear words. Basically, it's the that and using narration. Uh, and visuals rather than using on screen text and visuals, such as your graphics or animations. Now, there are some limitations. So, in chapter 6, starting at page 117, they talk about the limitations of the modality principle. And one thing Clark and Mayer stated is that we recognize that in some cases that it may not be practical to implement the modality principle. And they gave a few different examples, but one that stuck out with me was the mathematical formula, being that I'm a math teacher. So I thought that this was very interesting because I too do this in class. I don't use PowerPoints per se, but I do use wherein I'll have words, I'm narrating, as well as there is these visuals that's going on, which does equal a limitation to the modality principle. So what I decided to do to kind of just show the limitation is by giving you an example in a mathematical formula. Basically, the biggest thing is that uh, on page 117, it states that basically there's times when you actually need all three of these things to help the learners a little bit more. So it may be a formula that's unfamiliar or a new formula, and that helps them as far as memorizing how to actually solve the problem. So they're hearing it in a few different ways, seeing it, and that gives them the support that they need to basically memorize that formula and be able to solve the problem. So, like I said, I actually created a animation as well as I have my formula for slope between 2 points. So basically in my math class, I'm telling my students what is the slope, which is rise over run. And in order to find your slope, you use a formula. And that formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Now in the top, I have the points -1 and 4 and 3 and -8. The -1 I'm going to treat as my x2. The 3 I'm going to treat as my x1. 4 I'm going to treat as my y2, and -8 will be my y1. Order does not matter when selecting which order pair comes first. Then from there, I plug in. Okay. And that's how I end up with 4 minus -8 over 1 minus 3. And then from there, I solve and I end up with my slope being 12 over -4, which equals -3. Wherein in this case, I have shown that there is a limitation for my modality principle, wherein I need all of these things. I need to narrate, I need to have visuals, and I need to have this animation with my on-screen text in order for my learners to be able to memorize not only this formula but also the steps in order to be able to solve and find the slope of this problem. So I hope that gives you a big explanation of the limitations of one of the limitations of the modality principle. And I appreciate you all for tuning in, and have a great day.